Welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet. Today we went fishing again, so guess what? It's time for another trash fish or treasure. Y'all stay tuned. Alright, today's victims. I know everybody that saltwater fishes caught some of these guys. Number one, here's your basic hard head saltwater catfish. And over here in this hand, this is a goff top or sail cat. You notice by his very long ends of these fins here. This one's supposed to be a lot better eating than this one, but we're gonna cook them up both, and be my first time, that's for sure. See what they taste like. Alright, we got these guys on the table. You're going to need two things here. You're going to need a pair of these catfish skinning pliers, okay, and a good sharp knife. And first thing we're going to do is just start out by cutting it. We want to find that here's his pectoral fin. So we're just going to come right behind that hard spot there and cut just through the skin. And it doesn't matter if you get it all the way over the top, but definitely get behind that hard spot. You can find it with your knife. I've cleaned thousands of freshwater catfish, but this is going to be the first time I've ever cut one of these into one of these guys. It's got kind of a really hard plate on his back there. The most important thing is to just get through that skin. We'll do that on a sail cat and do the same thing on the hard head. One of the big tricks to this is this nail right here in this 4x4. And you see it's sharp on one end and it's pointed up slightly. So I'm going to grab our catfish and we're just going to impale him on it. Just like that. So he's hanging right there. This is going to help us a lot. Leverage to get a hold of the skin with our pliers. Let's see if he skins as easy as a freshwater cat. So far, I would say no. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting him started. He is pretty hard up on his back. Let's get him started. Just like undressing him. Just like that. Got a little bit over here. There you go. Skinned. We'll finish the rest of them and I'll show you how to butcher them. Alright, so we have them all skinned. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and butcher them out. And then we're going to chill them before we try to fillet them. So right behind his top fin right here, you want to cut back towards his head at about a 45-degree angle. Then just bring your knife right on around and cut that belly meat. I usually just go around that piece of skin that's left there. And then you want to grab it just like this, push down. You should be able to pull most of the guts in the head right off very easily. And we'll grab him at the back end there and go ahead and take the rest of his innards out. Easy as that. One nice fully clean catfish. I usually come in here and take these bottom fins off also. There's just nothing really there but bone. Now if we wanted to fry these guys up whole, they are ready. But what we're going to do is go ahead and chill them down so that we can fillet them. And we'll touch up any last little bits of skin if you got any bit. Looks like he has a little hanger-on piece right down here by his back fin, but you know, most of that'll probably come out when we fillet it. But that's how you skin and butcher catfish. And these are the saltwater variety. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm going to go ahead and fillet them now. And got some bags ready there just so that we don't get them mixed up. Gonna fillet them just like any other catfish. And believe me, I used to commercial fish for catfish, so I have filleted thousands of catfish. I'm not gonna worry too much about belly meat in this guy. We're just you know, doing taste test here. So we got the bag. It's marked hardhead catfish, or HH cat. Let's do the seal cat. He's quite a bit bigger, so it shouldn't be that hard to pull them apart. You got really nice texture to that meat. Nice and tender. That's a pretty good looking fillet too. You can tell right now there's already a bit of difference in the texture between the seal cat and the hardhead catfish. Alright, we got this one marked sail cat. Alright, we'll do up the rest of them. We'll get back to you when it's time to cook. Hey, chicken update. This is you seen our new chickens in our last video. If you didn't, go back and look at that, the bread cook. They just started laying a couple weeks ago. This is our second double yolk egg that we've got.
Hey, well, it's dinner time, so let's fry up these good old saltwater cats. See how they taste. Here's a few things you're going to need. Just a quick note on some of the comments that I've gotten on some of the recent videos. You know, people sometimes have some kind of vendetta against fried fish. I don't know why. You know, they say, ruined it, fried it, ruined it. You know what? For me and millions and millions of other people, fried is the best way to eat a fish. And for me, that's the best way. For most fish. Especially delicate fish, like we're doing here. And as far as catfish are concerned, I don't know any better way to cook catfish than fried. It does take a little bit longer to cook than other types of fish. You know, it's got a different texture, and if you don't get that nice and crispy, then it's not great.
All right, well, here's what you're going to need. Here's our egg mayo wash we use all the time. That's 1 egg, 1 heaping tablespoon of mayo whisked together. Okay, we got our fish here. This is the same bag you've seen us fillet earlier. Hardhead cat, sail cat. The cat we're going to cut into catfish fingers, and then these little hardhead cats are smaller. So we're going to go ahead and leave those whole. You're going to need a bowl, and then you're going to need some fine ground cornmeal. All right, this is sometimes referred to as cracker meal in the South. But it's not a regular cornmeal, it's a fine ground cornmeal. That's Alabama King. All right, for seasoning, you know, we're going to use up some straight up Seminole Swamp seasoning. All right, good on everything. You can use your favorite. And then we have peanut oil, and we got about half of that already going over in the 10-inch Dutch oven. So what we're just able to do was take that kind of membrane that's right under the skin. It's okay to eat that, but what it'll do is it'll draw up and it'll make all your fillets curl up. So with these saltwater cats, they have some red meat in them, so we figured we'd go ahead and try to get that membrane off. You can do that with your larger catfish fillets also, but we were able to get both of those fillets cleaned up with all that membrane under the skin off of them. So they're much more beautiful now. All right, a little bit left on that one, but no biggie. So these we're just going to cut in strips. That's why we kind of call it catfish fingers. We cut them on a bias. Could be catfish nuggets, whatever you want to call them. Alright, we got all these ready to go. We kind of spread them out on the cutting board. We're going to go ahead and give them a good seasoning, a Seminole Swamp seasoning. Again, use whatever your favorite seasoning is. I bet some Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning would be great on these. So just get them to pick up all that off the board. And then we're going to take them right into our egg wash. And just kind of swirl them around in there, let them all get coated. Our big bowl over here. Going to go ahead and put some of our fine cornmeal in. And now that we got this in the egg wash, we're going to go ahead and just transfer them one at a time, let the extra kind of drip off. We can do them maybe 4 or 5 at a time. Right into the cornmeal. Give them a toss around in there real good. Then we have a pan standing by right here. Put that into the shot. And we're just going to lay them on a pan. These are the hard heads. I'm not going to try to get that membrane off of these. They're just too small. So just season. In the egg wash. Right in the cornmeal. Checking on that temp. About 336. We'll let it cool down just a little bit before we drop these. Now what I did is just turn off the fire, let it sit for a couple minutes. So we're going to go ahead and drop these. We want to keep these separate so we can tell which ones are which, even though we probably can, because these hardhead are quite a bit bigger pieces. So we'll drop them hardheads there first. Like I said, we don't want those to cook too fast. We want them to get really good and done all the way through. We're going to do it up this time 2 ways and backwoods gourmet style. We're going to start out with our catfish fingers over here, and we've made a butter tiger sauce combo here. 3-4 pats of butter, good dash of tiger sauce. That's like going to be a dipping sauce for these catfish fingers. So we're going to go ahead and arrange some of those on the plate. This is our sail cat, remember? And so we're going to find the pretty ones. And gonna fill up that beautiful plate with the catfish fingers there. And for garnish on that, we have some key lime wedges. We'll just kind of put those back and forth. A little extra color and a beautiful presentation. And believe me, if this is good, your guests are never going to know this is trash fish. It's just going to look so beautiful. So you can squeeze out those key lime juice right over those and maybe give it a little hit of the sriracha. Alright, so that's a pretty plate. And just for the last finishing touch, a couple of parsley leaves. That's not parsley, I'm sorry. That's cilantro. Maybe another 1 or 2 right over here on the sauce. Okay. So that's sail cats done as an appetizer. Silcat fingers. Done up as appetizer. They look pretty good, I'm telling you, and they smell great. Smell great. So for our hardhead catfish, we're going to go more of a, a traditional southern fish dish here, and we're going to start that out. We're going to these are sweet potato fries. We just did right while we were cooking catfish, and then we're going to put a couple of our nice catfish fillets on there. And leave a little bit of room here. And then over here we're going to put some nice homemade, not by me, a nice little portion of coleslaw right there. And that's going to be a traditional southern fried catfish dish. With sweet potato fries and coleslaw. So that's how the dishes go together. Now let's get to tasting them. Well guys, I'll tell y'all right now, I have never ever in my whole life, and I'm a pretty old man now, I'm over 50 years old, been fishing and eating fish my entire life, and I've never ever eaten a saltwater catfish. Yeah, my whole life everybody's like, these things are trash, just throw them back. So we thought we'd give it a try. So here it goes. Just in case this isn't no good, I got a nice cold beer right here in case I need to wash any of this down. So I'm going to try, the first one I'm going to try is going to be that hardhead cat, which is, the biggest trash fish of all. I have heard of people catching and keeping and eating silcats, but I've never heard them eating this one. So let's go ahead and break it open there. It looks a lot like any other catfish. I'm gonna have another bite of that. I think it tastes just like any other catfish. It's nice, white, flaky meat. It's done just right. I know what some of you guys are saying. You're going like, this cat will eat any kind of fish. Well, that's not true. I am a very picky, I call myself a fish connoisseur. I do have a taste for fish. So this is a silcat. Let's give that a try. That has more of a saltwater fish flavor to it. A little hint of maybe sea trout, but it's also really good. Or a little bit of sauce on it. So you can see that nice and white and flaky, but it's it's done like catfish needs to be done. I do notice that the silcat is not, the texture of the meat is not as stringy as freshwater catfish. Probably, I would say that's good or better than any freshwater catfish I ever ate. It's really delicious. I went out there fishing yesterday. These things were everywhere. Every time I put out a live bait, they're just running it to the surface, bust them on top. They're real aggressive. They're good fighters. I guess their only real drawback that I see now is they're a pain in the ass to clean. They taste great. Well, I didn't know how this was going to turn out because I'd never tasted this before. I did yesterday also caught a really nice flounder. I have him filleted up in the refrigerator right now. So he was my backup plan in case this didn't turn out. But right now, we could save him till tomorrow because me and Mrs. Backwoods, we're going to eat up this saltwater catfish. And this one here is the hardhead, regular old saltwater cat right here. They're pretty good too. Why does everybody always tell me these things ain't fit to eat?
Well, thanks for watching. We'll keep trying to find a fish that's not good to eat. And I'm sure there's some out there, and we're going to find them. So, as always, please subscribe, share, comment. Hey, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button. And we'll see you next time.